It's
I'm going to say something. Is it on? Careful. All right, we're back, boys and girls. A word to those of you who are watching by the video. We had a battery problem here, so we lost some of the last. I was just brilliant for the last 15 minutes.
They can get it on audio.
We will figure out something, but there's the audio, or maybe I don't know what we'll do. But just sorry, we think we've got it fixed.
Yes.
Okay, we knock on wood. So lesson 1.2, Mark 1 through 3. Let's very quickly do that group thing. The answer to the question, who is Jesus, is very important in the first half of Mark's gospel. What does Mark want his readers to understand about the identity of Jesus in Mark 1:1? Son of, well, that's in brackets. It might be, but what else? Christ, the anointed one. So for sure, that's in the text. Son of God might very well likely be in the text. And this is the beginning of the good news. Jesus is the source of the good news. What do you learn from the testimonies and events in the rest of chapter 1 about the identity of Jesus? Come on, work together here. What do we learn about Jesus in that typical day and then dealing with the leper? He's a healer. Okay. Passionate. Teacher. He wows them with authority.
Obedient to God.
What makes you say that?
Well, he just was driven out into the desert.
Oh, this is what the Holy Spirit said. Okay, good. That's good. You're right. I thought, well, how do you know that, though? That's good. I'll accept that. Okay. Power of the demons, huh? Yes?
Baptism when he said that he was his chosen son.
Yes, the Father says, you are my son. There you go. Okay, very good. And notice Jesus and the ritual law. Jesus touches the leper. He's not deeply troubled by keeping the ritual law. We learn all of that. Okay? What do you discover about the identity of Jesus with the conflict stories? What more do we learn?
He's able to forgive sin.
Able to forgive sin. That's a new thing, huh? What else?
He befriends tax collectors and sinners.
He befriends tax collectors and sinners, outsiders. Good. What about eating?
He's the bridegroom.
He's the bridegroom, reference to the Old Testament image of God marrying his people. Worried about food law. Yes, Dan?
He's willing to do good even if it's provocative.
Yes, he's willing to do good even if it upsets people. Peter? More? You had more? I think you had more. I don't know.
He's able to know the thoughts of others.
He reads hearts. Great. Yes. Okay. He has enemies right from the get-go. You know, don't we kind of think if I just be nice, people be nice to me? Well, Jesus hasn't done anything offensive, I don't think, but he immediately attracts those who want healing and those who are intensely threatened by him. There's a conflict going on.
He does not seem to be concerned with the conventional expectations of holiness as exercised by.
Excellent. Say that again. He does not seem to be caught up with conventional images of what holiness prescribed by the law looks like.
Right, and the companion to that is Jesus seems willing to reinterpret the law of Moses if it serves a higher purpose.
He seems willing to reinterpret the law if it serves a higher purpose. Well done. Good. Which Old Testament characters do you think had a similar call experience? Oh, I'm on the wrong line there. That's still number one.
You need A.
I need A. Okay, number 2. Mark describes the call of the first disciples and the call of Levi. What do you learn about the meaning of discipleship from these stories? over here. What do you learn from discipleship from these stories of the call of the first disciples and Levi?
He doesn't call just the ones that are righteous. He looks for their holiness. He knows them at what they're capable of doing.
Okay, you're thinking about Levi in particular. He doesn't just judge by outward appearance. He knows what they're capable of. What else? What about discipleship? You focused on Jesus' abilities. What about the recipients?
To respond totally and honestly.
Their response needs to be total and immediate. That's true of the four, it's true of Levi. They drop everything and follow. Good. Which Old Testament characters do you think had a similar call experience? Abraham. As is presented to us in Genesis 12, God says, come follow. We don't know if he hesitated, but he does. What else? Noah. Good. Didn't someone say Isaiah? Isaac? Isaac. I'm not sure about Isaac. Moses and in the bush. Now Moses was hesitant, but God wanted him. Samuel? Saul. Yeah, initially Saul starts out well. Elijah. Very good. Elisha in particular, remember? Elisha, he's plowing the field with his 12 yoke of oxen, and Elijah puts his mantle on his shoulder, and he drops the yoke and goes with him, follows him. Joshua. I don't know about the call story of Joshua. I don't remember. He follows.
He was called to lead the Israelites.
That's true, but I guess I can't think of too much about
In the direction of the Lord, he took the family business of leading the Israelites.
the family business. Okay.
I put Gideon.
Gideon. Yeah, I mean, again, Gideon was called that way, but more like Moses, he's kind of hesitant. Who am I?
He said he was small and
I am the least tribe, and if Yahweh, and remember the angel says the Lord is with you. He says, if the Lord's with you, why am I in a hellhole like this, beating out the? So I mean, the call is surely there. The call to be immediately responsive is there. They didn't all respond that way. C. How do the Mark and call stories challenge you in your effort to be a Christian disciple? E. Yes, John.
So for me, it's just dropping everything, follow immediately. That's faith and trust in Jesus. And for me, there's days where I've got faith, but just to trust and just know that Jesus will handle everything. I want to have that control, and that's a challenge. So
John's response, again, I'm speaking for the folks watching. John's response was, to hear that immediate call, I wish I have faith, but I have other things that pull at me and tug at me. I wish I had that ability to drop everything and follow. Yes, Peter.
I guess similar to what he said, this is a big conscience thing with me. I think about this all the time, the key to heaven. Along with the rich young man, I'm a comfortable guy. Give it all up, give everything you got, and follow me. And it's something like this. Is this what I have to do?
Okay, keep that question. Let it keep eating at you. We're going to find out when we read Luke's gospel, first about wealth, and we're going to find out that maybe Jesus doesn't ask the same thing from everybody. I'm not trying to get you off the hook. I'm just saying, I think we as we watch other calls, other New Testament calls, you're going to see Jesus shapes the call to the recipient of it. Now, given that you've got an issue with money, maybe that is exactly what he wants. I'm here to help you. Give it to me. Any other comments to that question?
I have a comment.
Yes, big voice. Use your big, upset like children voice.
It's been a heck of a week. So, but one of the things I said was I would have to put my weapons down, like a glass of wine, a mojito, a slice of cake, or an anti-anxiety med to take the edge off. But when I read the fishermen dropping their nets, I felt like I might as well walk off the dock because I'm not disciple material.
Oh my! Oh, come on, give her a virtual hug. Oh.
But part of that, that I didn't read was, like the anxiety piece of not letting that certain things fall into the hands of God and to walk with Him, and the anxiety about having a child with a disability,
Yep.
you know, like a lot of those things, like, yeah, it could be, I have a lot of, like, could it be a money thing for me? Could it be a perfectionism thing for me? Could it be that grief over a kid with autism? There's all kinds of things, and where would you even start?
Great, thank you for that. Thank you for the personal note in it. I think when we get deeper in the gospel, we'll come back to this, because I think you will find Jesus does have some things to say about this. Again, it's a little more complicated than it seems right now. And as I told you, the disciples who drop everything at the beginning and look so good are going to look schmucky by chapter 9. Okay? And terrible by chapter 14. Okay? So don't lose hope. If you compare yourself to them and you say, I don't have it, guess what? They didn't have it either. They looked like they had it, but they didn't.
But doesn't that come back to Jesus knew what they knew in their heart, what they were capable of, or not?
Well, yeah, I would like to believe that, yes, that, and he's going to ask, again, Mark has his own, Mark presents the disciples under a very fierce, magnifying glass. The other Gospels, again, Mark in priority, if you accept that, the other Gospels came later, but by the time they're writing, these guys are the link to Jesus. You can't be bad-mouthing the link to Jesus. And so they're more conscious about showing the disciples did get it during the life of Jesus. Now, Mark has his own reasons, I think, that we'll come to next month. Why does he show such a negative light on the disciples? I think it's, frankly, in the end, good news for us and our indecision. Because even those who looked like they got it didn't get it. Which means those of us who feel we don't get it, we aren't out of the picture yet. Okay? All right. 4. Or did I finish all that? Yeah, 4. The Markan portrait of Jesus' family appears in Mark 3:20-35. What picture of Jesus' family emerges in these verses?
They're normal.
They're normal? What makes them normal?
They were worried about it.
They're worried about him.
They don't want to be embarrassed by him.
They don't be embarrassed. They think he's religiously over the edge. He's not eating. Doesn't some of your family think you're crazy to spend a whole day here about the Bible? Don't they think that, oh my God, we have to rescue them? Okay? I mean, I gotta think that's true. I mean, a whole day, 9 times a year? They're nuts. With homework? But your family isn't married. She knew better, huh? Okay. Anything else about the family of Jesus? There's tension in the family. And I think the religion thing is part of it, to notice. Why do you think Mark portrays the family of Jesus in this way?
Precisely because our families may not understand what we're doing here today.
Precisely because our families may not understand what we're doing here today. He wants to show other families dealing with the difficulty that Jesus provides. Yes, Therese.
I kind of took it in a different direction. I said, I believe it shows that it's not genealogy or pedigree that determines one's place in the family of God. It can lead us to place ourselves within the family of Jesus if we but do the will of the Father, which is in the other section about those who do the will of my Father are my mother and my brother and my sisters.
Yeah, very, very well said. Very well said. All right. Your answers are pretty much like that, aren't they all? Yeah. Let's move on. Do you need another little break, or can we just move on and start looking at chapters 4-8? Mashan? Question? Was it 5? Oh, I'm always trying to cut things out. Oh, continue to trace. No, I'm in the wrong chapter. Using Mark 1-3, list those who demonstrate a correct understanding of who Jesus is and those who misunderstand who Jesus is. What I want to do is I'm going to invite you to shout out one by one. First, those who get Jesus, who understand him. And then we'll have you call out the names of those who don't understand. And we'll see if I agree. Who understands Jesus? Give me some names.
Satan.
Satan. Yeah, he understands Jesus. He doesn't follow him, though. So, but you're right.
Unclean spirits.
Unclean spirits. They recognize who he is, but they don't follow him. What else?
Those that were healed.
Those that were healed. Some of those who were healed in particular.
Mary.
John the Baptist.
Now, Mary. Now, why does Mary understand who he is? Who said Mary?
I said Mary.
Why?
She understands because he heals her.
Mary?
Is it Mary? I am looking at
I think you're in the wrong gospel. Mary has been in the room, in the house. She's seen.
No, because she witnesses the healing.
Okay, now be careful. I mean, now again, I think you're bringing a little of our general understanding of Mary to the table. And again, I'm all over you guys saying, Mark doesn't know about all of that. Huh? In fact, if Mark was the only gospel we had, if Mark and Matthew were the only gospels we had, there would be, sure as anything, no Marian devotion. Mary does not come off as a believer. I'm not saying she's an unbeliever, but she doesn't come off as a believer in Mark and in Matthew. That's a shocker, Louis.
Sorry, clarification, it was a contact issue. Many, not Mary.
Oh, oh, okay, many. Yeah, that's when I heard Mary, I went, oh, really? Many who were healed, you're saying. Many who were healed. Okay. Who else understands Jesus? Say that? What do you base that on?
Because he's greater, someone greater will.
He doesn't say Jesus is greater, does he? He's giving testimony. This is the question that came up before. I'm asking you to separate each of the Gospels. When, as believers, we can bring them all together, but does Mark know about Luke? John the Baptist John does not give any direct testimony to Jesus. He's my man. He just says, someone is coming after me. He's giving testimony to what the Father told him. But specifically, does he know Jesus? The Gospel of Mark gives us no idea to know that. Now, Luke does. But Mark, we'd have no clue. Yeah.
You assumed you heard the voice from the sky.
You assume. Again, that's why I keep saying it. How do you know that? You want to think that. You don't know that. And it's after he gets out of the water. He might have been a block down the street before it happened. Who else understands Jesus? Levi drops everything. Now, admittedly, yeah, but what?
But do they really understand?
Good point. In a preliminary way, they seem to understand. Now, later on, we'll find out that may not be the case. But at least they respond appropriately at this point. But we're going to keep adding this. We're going to find out later the disciples really don't understand him. But at this point, they come off like they do. So you got to give them partial credit. Who does not understand him? The Pharisees, the scribes, friends and family. I might say the demons. I mean, again, they recognize who he is. They don't worship him. I mean, they don't believe in him. They believe that he is. He's the enemy. You're right about that. Good. This is good. This is good. All right. We'll come back to that in next month's, maybe next week, maybe the next session too. I don't know. All right. All right. Now can I go ahead? Woo! Okay. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is the parable chapters. Most of the parables Mark is going to present are found in this chapter. Okay? Let's just stop and think about a parable. We all know a great deal about parables. We have a lot of experience with them.